What up? What up? Welcome to another Power Rantings of Unhinged, Unfiltered, and Unscripted. I know I never gave you guys a part two from my drive home from dinner with my dad, or lunch with my dad the other day. So this is me coming to you now with part two, but technically not coming home from lunch, but coming home from the phone store. Woo woo. So I don't even believe I got into talking about it on the episode prior, but I had a wonderful, wonderful occurrence happen to me. Found out some pretty interesting things about iPhones. So for all you wonderful people out there who may or may not know this, the Apple product things in the world, yeah, they don't hold up well when you put them through, you know, the washer. And I know that because I put it through the washer, a full cycle. And the stupid thing is me and my husband, we were downstairs in our garage, just, having some quality time together and whatever. Yeah. And when asked what the clanking sound was, I was like, I don't really know. It could be from, you know, I have your jeans in the washer, and it could be from that. I was like, to be honest, I'm not sure. Well, figured out what it was. Because when I went to go switch the laundry over, what do I find in the washer? My phone. Also, by the way, right before I had gone upstairs to switch over the laundry, I even asked myself, I was like, where's my phone? I was like, I don't even really know where my phone is. But I was spending so much time together that I didn't even really think about it, to be honest with you. I was just enjoying my time with him, and yeah, it never even crossed my mind that I was without it. And yep, nope. I figured out why. It was because I had washed it. So, anyways, long story short, I was at the phone store because when I had gotten the phone that was turning up, trying to activate, it wouldn't let me transfer over my number because it was kept telling me that it needed to have my Bluetooth on and my phone unlocked. But because it was completely waterlogged, I couldn't make sure that happened. So, yeah, that was a fun occurrence. Don't ever put your phone through laundry. It will not end well if you do. And also, Apple products suck shit. And I will say that for as long as I live. Jeez, my goodness gracious. Sorry, I apologize. I was reading a text message and my goodness gracious. It is so simple. And yet my complex brain had to make something that is so simple and easy extremely fucking complicated. But, you know, I am who I am, and that is what I do. My. I feel like a dumb idiot. I'll tell you that much. But at least my phone is now working, and I'm able to do this because I couldn't even. It was so it was so frustrating because I couldn't even log on to any apps or download any apps. Like for instance, my banking app, because I'm the one who usually handles the bills because I'm home all the time and I can. But I couldn't even get onto my bank app for me to check our account. Like, granted, I knew we had money in the account, but like, I always just like to check before making bills. And I couldn't even do that because I couldn't log on because they wanted to send me a verification code. But the only two ways they would send it was either a text or a call. And I couldn't get a text or a call. And I was like, are you kidding? I couldn't log on there. I couldn't download new apps because apparently one of my payment methods had failed. But I couldn't update my payment method without getting onto my banking app. And it was so frustrating. Like, I will say that it was a nice little blackout from the electronics for a couple of days. Granted, it wasn't much of a blackout because of the fact that I still was making calls on my iPad, but it was a nice little like detox from the phone and whatnot. So it was kind of cool. However, it was not also because God forbid there was an issue with the school and the school had to call me. They couldn't. It was a big thing. But that's all over now, thankfully. My phone is now up and running, which is great because now I can receive calls, which woohoo! Now bill collectors can continue to call. Yay! But yeah, it's been a rough couple of days, I'll say that much. But with that also being said, I did enjoy, again, that little like break from the phones and whatnot. But I actually ended up having one of the really cool conversations over the weekend, or not over the weekend, over the week with somebody who I've been getting closer to. But like this was kind of like a really nice moment in our friendship because we definitely bonded a lot more and we chatted almost like for 2 full days. Granted, most of it was spent with us getting interrupted and, having to deal with life, but it was nice because, her and I talked about things and like I was able to help somebody, which always makes me feel a little bit better too. Yeah, I just like being able to offer somebody something to make them feel better. And I know that sounds like a selfish thing, but it's not. It's not meant to, at least. It's meant to just be something that for me, I feel like my purpose in life. Why am I? Oh, I forgot. I was like, why am I sticky for some reason? I forgot I spilled my Red Bull before. But it's nice for me to feel like I can have something of value to offer somebody else to help them in a way. So her and I had spent countless hours and we got into like a lot of rabbit holes, but we were actually ended up doing some stuff on our ancestors. And by the way, non-promotional, not being paid for, not being sponsored or anything. But if you wanted to get an Ancestry DNA kit, now is the time to do it because up until the 27th, they have a sale. I got mine for $60. So definitely do that. Again, no promotional thing here, just trying to help someone out. But yeah, her and I had gone through, ancestry.com and we were talking about things. Turns out she's a lot more on the royal side than I am. I mean, I am still a royal pain in the ass, but she has a lot of lords and ladies and a lot of royalty in her lineage. But something cool I had found out about mine was that my second great grandfather, so my dad's mom, her mom's dad came over from Ireland. He had come from Dublin, but there was a couple of my ancestors that came over from Galloway. So far, that's as far as I have seen. But came over from Dublin, Ireland. And his last name was Marin, which is not my maiden name. So somewhere along the line, the names changed from Marion, and somehow we got into Weaver. Well, not by somehow, but we ended up becoming Weavers. But we come from a line of Marians, which is pretty interesting. And I wonder where that switch had come from. But also it turns out that, he was part of the wars that were over here. So I think it was during the Revolutionary War, which was pretty cool. Another thing about the Revolutionary War is I had an ancestor who also was one of the great spies to George Washington. It was George Washington's most trusted spy. His name, I think it was Robert Townsend, but for 30 years no one knew who he was. So he went off of nicknames and like I just find that just so peculiar because like how do you go that long with no one knowing who you are? I apologize. I know it seems like seconds to you guys, but I paused it quickly so I could get some dinner ordered, which I did. I didn't want to, but I ended up stopping at Panera because, well, to be honest, I'm hardly ever done this area, and so I figured why the hell not? Even though I told my husband to order probably pizza for dinner, but at least I get food in my system somehow. And now I'm on my way to get my children from my dad's because I called him up in a pinch. I was like, hey, listen, have to go to the freaking phone store. can you watch the kids? And thankfully he said yes. So, I mean, that was great, which is one of the nice things about having, help when I do, or like, it's not always, the same. There are days that, that they can or whatever, which is fine, obviously, because it has to be. But it is nice on those days when they can't help out that they do, because then I'm able to go do what I have to go do at the phone store. I almost said food store. At the phone store and get that done and over with, as like it literally took me less than like probably 20 minutes altogether. The only reason I was in there even a little bit longer was because the gentleman that helped me, which by the way, superb. He was great above and beyond, and like even laughed at my stupid corny jokes, which I know are stupid because my husband tells me all the time that I am not a good joke teller. But he was courteous enough to at least laugh at them and not make me feel like an idiot. So that was nice. But it was nice being able to have to do that, all of that, and as quick as easily as I could without them. And I know that it sounds bad, but it's not, because I love my kids to death. It's just 8 and 9 years old gets to be a little bit tricky in public when dealing with something like that. If it was like Walmart for something stupid, yeah, obviously I wouldn't have done it. But like, it was just nice. But on my way down to my parents, so you guys remember me telling you about this wildfire. At least I think. I don't remember. But if you do or not, we have a huge wildfire right now, right by where my parents do live. They have not been evacuated yet, so that's good. But like last I heard, it was 30% contained. They started back burning it, but it's really, really crazy. It's been burning for a while now, almost like a probably good 2 weeks at this point. Like even like my school, which is 30 minutes from my parents' house, up one mountain, won't let the kids go outside for recess due to the air condition. So like it's getting crazy. But anyways, so on our drive down to my parents, there's this beautiful picture of the moon, and I tried to take it, but taking a picture while driving is not very simple and easy, so it did not come out very well. But it was beautiful, but it was only beautiful because of the smoke and the fact that you got the illumination from the fire. So like you know that its beauty was from, you know, the fire burning and the smoke. But a mixture of it was like this like pink hue that came across. And then of course the full moon that's right there. It was a beautiful scene, which again, knowing it makes it like not beautiful, because like what's going on, what's happening, and that like 25,000 acres are burning, which doesn't make it nice. But at the same time, it was beautiful, and it was something I wish I was able to capture at that moment, because again, just the time of day, so the sun was already setting, the time of day, the pink hue from the fire, and like the smoke and the moon. I won't be able to get that on my way back to get my kids now, because now it's dark. Now it's not the same. But I did get a blurry picture, which maybe if I clean it up a bit, I'll get that picture, but I doubt it. But oh man, I wish it was something I could show you guys, because it was beautiful. But again, neither here nor there, because now it doesn't matter. Because now it's dark and gloomy, just like it always should be. Or not always should be, but at least now it's dark gloomy like it always is. Let's put it that way. And of course, I still got to go home and clean my house. Since I did not do that today, I procrastinated so long and so hard because I didn't and couldn't and didn't have to do anything. I didn't want to do anything, but I didn't have to do anything, so I didn't. But I figured again, while I was kid free and whatnot, I'd do a quick little like driving PSA or rant or whatever. And hey, maybe this time you'll actually get to experience my road rage. But I doubt it, because so far I've been really good on not having road rage while having these chats with you people, because I don't want you to hear me having road rage, because then you're going to think I'm a psychotic person who needs some serious mental health help. But you're not wrong. But also, I don't. So we're good. But it is nice to have, I guess, these. Again, apologies about that. Again, you don't understand or don't really know, because again,
you were only paused for technically a second. Whereas for me, it was good like 10 minutes. I actually ended up just getting a phone call. Not a great one, but at the same time, it is in a way kind of just something I was fearing was going to happen. Inevitably, not necessarily right now, but eventually it was bound to happen sometime. But with that being said, I won't dive into that right now. But, it is Friday night. Oh, I was starting to say this, though. I started recording an episode the other night and I had pulled an oracle, right? So I pulled one of our go-to oracle cards that we normally do at the end, but I had done it in the beginning for some reason. Somebody told me to, I don't know. And it was from one of my newer card decks. And the one was, you need a fucking hug. And I was like, oh, that's really good to know. Like, we all could use it, especially this close to Thanksgiving. We could all use a hug. Well, that podcast episode did not get posted, nor did it get recorded, nor did it get saved. Got it deleted almost quickly because the fact that my son had came in shortly after and, started on his normal, like, ranting and raving and, like, throwing a fit because it was bedtime and he didn't want to go to bed and I was getting frustrated. So I ended up exiting it out and just kind of throwing up my hands and saying, whatever, like, I won't do it now. And then I never got back to it. And at the end of the night, as I was getting ready to go to bed, because I wasn't tired, like, I wasn't, like, physically tired, but I was just drained. I was drained from the day. I was drained from the week. I was just drained, and I just wanted to sleep to ignore everything, which I know is not always healthy, but, it wasn't like a depression was setting in type sleep. Not yet, at least, but it was just like an exhaustion mentally, whatever. So I was like, oh man, that card resonates so much more now than it did an hour ago. I was like, and it's funny because like I didn't think about it an hour ago that I was gonna need it now, but I did, and I was like, it was definitely something I needed. I mean, the physical hug of it was more so what I needed, which I did get, but you know, I didn't connect the dots per se, if you would, on on it until later on. But I thought that was pretty interesting that it did finally make its light to show me why I needed that, which is also part of the things that I was talking to my one friend about, whom I will keep her anonymous as of right now. But I was talking to her about like seeing signs and like, messages and stuff like that from the not outside the world, but like from your spirit guides and all of that, like just keeping an open mind kind of to pay close attention because maybe there's something out there that they're trying to show you that you need to know, but you're not understanding what it is yet. And I was trying to help her with that, which again, the fact that I get to help somebody out is pretty cool because I only started opening my mind to those types of things 2 years ago. And now I get to impark my wisdom. That's not the word I wanted to use, but give somebody my knowledge on what I went through and what helps me and try to help them as well. Because if you take religion or if you take anything out of it, like everything out of it, politics, religion, all of that garbage, take it out of it. Everybody should do a little bit of inner research, a little bit more self-focusing, recenter who you are and find yourself and find things that you're passionate about now and find out who you are now and relearn things about yourself. Like we all should do that regardless. So whether it's a spiritual journey or it's a religious journey or whatever you're doing in life, just reflect inward, reflect on that and kind of grow from that. Like I feel like again, outside of politics, I feel like we all could use open mind, op- open mindfulness. I think a lot of people have been very close-minded, very blind to see things that are in front of them, very black and white, very to the point, to like, this is what it is kind of mentality. But I feel like if we just opened our mind to the possibility of, maybe not always being right, or the world is not just black and white, or just opening our minds to something outside of what we know and learn to expand and grow from that, I feel like it would be so much better for people. Because, and I had this discussion with my son the other day, when we're closed minded like that, when we don't think that we can learn anything more on a topic or a subject or whatever, we're only limiting ourselves. But also, that's saying that we are the master of that one topic. Therefore, we're perfect. But nobody is perfect. Even Einstein or the smartest people in the world wouldn't admit they know everything about the subject of their field, because they know that there's an ever-changing world out there. Things are constantly changing. Things are always, for instance, Pluto, when I was in grade school, Pluto was a planet. Now they're realizing Pluto's not a planet. So even NASA is not always right. And they kept an open mind about things. They figured out Pluto is not a planet. Therefore, they didn't know everything and they changed. And, when we put ourselves in that type of limitation, we're only hurting ourselves. I'm a graphic designer. I'm self-taught graphic designer. So I already don't know much that, a normal degree person in that field would know, because they went to college for it and I did not. I learned everything I learned myself, either through the internet or articles that I read or books. Like, I read a lot of books, but I put in the work for it, right? But I know that with the internet and society that way, things are constantly changing. Things are always improving. Things are always coming. Like, when I first started all of my graphic design stuff, I started working with just vinyl. Then you add in sublimation, then you add in UV, like all of these new techniques and these new things that keep coming out and keep changing. And then you have 3D printing, which I have not done yet, but I would love to. And then resin and all of that. Like, there's so much out there that we don't know. But if we just opened our minds to the possibility of it all, then who's to say that we wouldn't be able to conquer it or, be successful with it, but we wouldn't know because we're too dang proud and too close-minded to say, hey, I can learn something, or I can learn from this person, or I can learn from this experience. But we're so close-minded thinking, oh, I know it. I'm great at it. I'm the best in my field. And you're not. Because you can always learn something from somebody. But, however, that is the end of this episode, because I am now pulling up to my parents, and I know damn sure that I am not going to be able to continue this with my children in the car. So there may be a part 3-ish, kind of, maybe, but definitely also keep a lookout for that Killdozer episode, because I may end up doing that soon. So if you're definitely interested, or you know someone who is, definitely share it out. That's all I ask. You don't need to subscribe. It's great if you did, but I'm not going to sit here and, say, hey, buy my stuff, even though my friends want me to say that to you. I just care so much more when you like and you subscribe and you comment, or sorry, not subscribe, when you like and you comment and you share things. That's just what makes my day. But on that note, you guys, you always stay unhinged, you stay unfiltered, and never be scripted. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we shall talk soon. Bye!